What's up, folks? Welcome to Space Haven. Alpha 7 is out. If you're new to this game, it's kind of a RimWorld slash Dwarf Fortress slash Space Station 13 kind of amalgamation colony builder system. However, your colony moves because it's a spaceship. It's only 1Z level, so you build on one plane. You go from there. There's no plans to do anything more than that right now. Just getting that out of the way right away. But in this patch, they've introduced some more UI stuff, a lot of localization for languages. So if you're new and English is not your only language, or your first language for that matter, well, you got some stuff. Let's take a look at some of the patch notes real quick. So game customization is a big thing. We'll go through that here in a second. Fog of War is another thing on the star map. It improved a lot of the aesthetics of the game too, with icons and backgrounds. You can now claim some derelicts. So some of them are claimable and you can add them to your fleet. That was a surprise feature for me. Fix some bugs. Localization in German, French, Spanish, Italian, Russian, simplified Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Czech, Polish, and Portuguese from Brazil. So, what that means is if you see any problems with this, hop on their Discord. I'll put the link down below for it. Yeah. Let's get into it. New game. So you have normal game mode, and you can pick either the basic platform, which gives you more resources and crew and time to build your ship from scratch. But since there may be some new people new to this game, we'll go with the basic platform because it's a decent start. I actually just did another recording of this a few minutes ago. And screwed it up. I made a mistake. So these are just presets. You can do what you want with these. I'm going to turn off tutorial objectives, see if that actually works. Because it didn't seem to change anything last time, but let's edit this. We'll start with, do I want a big crew? I do want a big crew. Let's get 6 to start out with. I don't want the hangars populated, but if you do this, remember you have to build the craft. And to build the craft, you need circuit boards. There's no free space. What? What? Okay, well, I guess I gotta do items? No. But basically, let's go through this real quick. You can set your crew size. If you're doing the abandoned platform, you can change this all the way up to 10. You can go to 0 crew, which I don't know why you would. Does you no good. I may have to leave these hangars populated because I can't seem to get these. I would have to remove something. And I kind of need a little bit of all of this. I could get rid of the fibers because they're not really that useful right out the gate. Let's remove that. No free space. Okay, well, let's just reset this. All right, so that's a problem. If you leave the hangars unpopulated at the start, you cannot build the craft because you need circuit boards. So that's kind of an oversight. I'll go ahead and report that on the Discord. But we'll leave that on. And the main reason why you do this is if there's stuff in the hangars for both the pods or the shuttles, you can't move them until you get rid of those shuttles and pods. So it just becomes a hindrance when you're trying to build your ship out right out from the gate. You can set what items you get. So what weapons. You can even give yourself a rocket, which cannot do anything right now. It's not implemented. You can add what starts in your sector, what resources, and then what ships. You can see right here. These are the different icons for a regular derelict and a claimable derelict. Keep that in mind. That's going to be the main goal of this playthrough. Build a ship. It's probably not going to be a Star Citizen 1 because, well, I don't know. There's none of them that really jump out to me. I do have a series that I'm starting to record on for building a Polaris Corvette. I did an initial test, like 3 hours of gameplay last night trying to build it. And I finally came down to like a good blueprint. But it, I ate up all my resources. So the ship wasn't flyable before I could get it at the door. So I need to plus this up a little bit. Mainly it was tech blocks that were holding me back. These guys. These are a bigger blocker than any of these other ones. Infra blocks are interesting, they're very useful. and you will need them, but these become a bigger problem. You get this from a lot of sources as soon as you get up and running. Sandbox mode, I'm assuming, just gives you unlimited everything. I haven't played with it. I will look into it and report back to you later. You can set the rarity of stuff. You can set the alien presence to never, or you can do very common. We'll leave it on very common because I'm playing on medium. You can set the rarity of derelict ships and claimable ships, and you can set the faction standings, essentially. It's pretty cool. You can start off as an ally of the pirates and be a pirate yourself and be hostile to everybody else. That could be an interesting playthrough. Focus on prisoner stuff. Just really capture everybody. We'll do this one we're just going out to try to capture derelicts. I think that's good for that. You can customize your people now. So what are we missing? Mainly piloting, which isn't really that big a deal. Now, if you randomize them, it will change their gender too. So that stuff can be randomized. I would like to be able to change everything. Customize everything on them. So gender, not necessarily stats. I'm fine with randomizing it just like you have in RimWorld. I think that creates an interesting dynamic. But this is not a bad start. Everything's kind of covered. All right, I've got my handy dandy list. Let me bring it up. So to start with, we've got we have Andre Vierzbicki. I misspelled that, didn't I? I sure did. Let me fix it. There we go. He's a cook. We got Michal Palas. I think I pronounced that correctly. He's a teacher. He's antisocial. Got a talkative cook over here. Quite the opposite. Nobody wants to chase on their flight. We got Rosson, who's a navigator. He's charming. And we're going to jump ahead in the list a little bit, since we have a female here. And that'll be Caitlin McIntosh. There we go. She can have purple. That'd be fine. Make you a red shirt. So I could do some customization here and give those that are good with the weapons the red shirts, because they're going to be the away team every time. He'll definitely be a red. I could set up like a color scheme. We'll make anybody that's good at like construction or industry stuff orange. Oh, can I give him like a white suit? Can I? That'd be cool, because then he could be like chef guy. I don't see anything. Like he'll be light blue. Light blue will be cooks. Life support. And she can be purple because why not? What's my reasoning? What's my reasoning here? She's a gunner. That's interesting. Yeah, that'll do. Purple can be like medical and stuff. Works for me. Makes perfect sense. Oh, I didn't change it. You gotta hit enter on there. There we go. Problem solved. Let's get going. All right, we're in. So this is the basic start that you have in Spacehaven. You start off with this nice little block. It is not an even one either, just FYI. It's a little lopsided in the build screen. So you start off with a power generator. This eats energy rods and spits out power. You look at the power here on this overlay. This is high power availability because it's green and it's covering this footprint. Then you have these little power nodes. These are in-floor ones. They have low power storage and they have a smaller footprint, right? But they don't obstruct very much. Just that one tile for building on top of it. And these are connected. These are all bi-directional connections. You can see the power flow. I'll show you that later when I get things up and running. So I do not plan on moving this yet, but I will eventually. So I will probably make this entire space into hangar. That'll be my goal. We'll just start off with that as kind of a general workflow. Let's look at this ship hull. So if you want to build this out, You can put your, if you got planning, if you want to look at planning, you can put these butted up against the edge anywhere you want. Kind of teaching new people how to play this game if you've never played it. These are the airlocks. This is how stuff gets dropped off on your ship, and then people can load into different shuttles and stuff. These pods are for mining and scrapping and construction, all three at once. They're not really specialized. And this is your shuttle that moves people back and forth between ships. So if you want to attack this and take it with people, which is a derelict ship, or if you just need to move between ships in your fleet, you can do both. If you look up here, you can see all your stuff. We'll go over that later. I'm not going to make this into a tutorial. I'm doing specialized tutorials for very short, succinct videos, but I'm working on them. We've got our storage here. We've got a thermal regulator. This is basically your heater. It can handle a certain amount of space. You got to build these out. Let's look at the temperature. See, we're a nice room temperature. One thing that's really cool in this game is temperature difference. It is hotter facing the sun. I don't think it's actually calculated yet, so let's watch that real quick. Temperature is going to be a little different. You'll see that as you play. That wall's hot. That wall's cold. And that's because, let's look at the solar system. Not solar system. Let's just look at the galaxy, because it's not a solar system. That's not Sol. That's looks like a blue dwarf. A blue dwarf star. And once you have a hyperdrive and fuel and stuff, and your ship is stable, you can jump between all these. But right now there's fog of war. This is a new feature. I forgot to mention that earlier. You can only see one connected tile away, one connected sector. So that makes it interesting. You don't know what's in there. You don't know how many pirates are out there. You don't know what to plan for. So think about that. Just to talk about terminology here real quick, so we're all on the same page. This is a sector. You're in a sector. In fact, it's an asteroid sector. That's why there's so much minerals on these little asteroids. This is where you get minerals for the most part. You can get ice. You can get stuff like carbon, noble metals, base metals, and energium and hyperium, which provide more fuel sources. You mine those with these. So let's get that mining at least. Let's get this ice. You just click it. You're telling it to go to that ship. We'll do it for all of these. And then you'll see little dotted lines that show you where it's going. We'll deal with this in a bit. This is a derelict ship. We don't know what's on there. We'll get to it here in a second. To start with, I have turned off the tutorial, so I'm doing my own tutorial essentially. My goal is to move, I think, this guy here and then more pods right here to do stuff. So let's get the basics going. We have power, right? We have power, that's good. We have some storage. We have some thermal regulation, which is good, but we need oxygen. So we're going to start with putting that there. We'll get a gas scrubber as well. But you'll see it's missing stuff. You can look at these tooltips and it'll tell you what's missing. We don't have a tools facility, so let's go to production, item, tools facility. We'll build that. You need tools to make everything. You consume infra blocks to make tools. Keep that in mind. These are infra blocks. They're an early game blocker for you, but you quickly resolve it once you start getting to some other stuff later for scrapping. So to get your ship livable, that's basically what you need. It's pressurized already to start, and it has oxygen to start with, so your people don't need to wear suits just yet, but that will deplete over time. It'll be replaced by carbon dioxide, so you need to scrub that a little bit. Got people working on that. Good. I would like to build back. So let's go to build hull. I will keep this general shape, but let's try to even this out a little bit. What is the deal? Good way to line this up. So you got 19 on that side. Let's use sketch instead. And you got 18 on this side. So it's not centered. or it's not an even ship. I can build this out to make it uneven. That is something I will probably do. Let's see. I do want to move this because this becomes a problem. It's kind of in an awkward position. I can build around it and have my storage right here, which is something I think I will do. So let's look at this. I got to build all around this. So if there's what? 18 here. Let's do some sketching. So I'd like to get my ship up and running. So if I do this, I've done this on a previous build, and I liked having that kind of like centrally located where the airlocks are in the center of the ship. And people go around them to do things. We will put, I think you just need one more over here to even this out. Now that's going to make it an even number in here, which can be a problem. It can get awkward. Because then stuff doesn't quite line up. But I'm going to have a 2-tile hallway at the minimum for people to go around in. So let's go back to hull. Let's sketch this out. We'll just build this out here so I can start it on it. And then we'll build another airlock here eventually, but not yet. Not yet. We'll get this side going and then we'll mirror image all that stuff. Having multiple airlocks is a good idea. It helps out quite a bit. Speed things up a wee bit. So we've got gas scrubbing to take care of the O2. This just needs what? I think it just needs power. This consumes water to create oxygen. I don't know where the hydrogen's going. As I said, this consumes infrablocks to create tools. You need tools to make everything. So it's a very important facility. And it's low cost. Well, we've got these people. Let's look at their status real quick. Skills are good. Where are the skills? There we go. Weapons, 1. Mr. Redshirt, you are my weapons guys, so guess what? I'm going to draft you, and that means I can move you around. I can also set priority, or I can set waypoints. So if I right-click here and hold shift and right-click here, you'll move here and then move here. But I want him to go here. So right-click on this, go to pickup, and we're going to give him a shotgun. Just drag it over to primary, and then we'll undraft him. Everybody else on this ship can get pistols. So what we're going to need are beds and stuff. One thing to factor in here, don't worry about your placement of stuff right out the gate. Just get your ship up and running, and then you can worry about building it out however you want. Because if you dismantle something, you get everything back. There's no loss. Factor that in. All right, we're going to build a couple of bunk beds. We're just going to put them right here for now. They can be next to each other. These take soft blocks. These take less soft blocks, but only take one person. But they're more comfortable, so, you know, it's handy. Looking at our priorities, we can see what people can do. I want everybody who can do things to do things. So Rawson's really only good at industry, logistics, medical he's really good at, which is good, but he's good at killing things too, so. These are just, you either have like a negative priority, you have no priority, so you're forbidden from doing it, or you have maximum priority. You can see their skills here. 3 is the highest. If it's grayed out, they can't do it, period. Get botany up and running in a bit. There we go. If you can do it, I want them doing it. So everybody can do industry, which is really good. It means we have 4 people that can process things into other things. All right, let's take a look at what's going on. There's a lot of mining going on. I may turn that off for now. Let's see, where are those ships? They're working on this. So you can see they're mining that carbon right now. They're going to bring it back. There's a difficulty level associated with the mining. That's easy to mine. That's a 5. That's a 2. Carbon is a 7, so it's pretty hard. I don't know what that's a max out of. Maybe 10. But we'll see. But let's get moving with things. Let's build this hole back. I want this to go all the way back. I don't care. I don't know if this is going to be a super creative ship. It's just going to be a ship. And then we'll start capturing everything else. I will probably put engine, and then some kind of power generator back there. Move all that stuff back there. We'll keep storage here, and then we'll just stack it up. In fact, let's do large storage. Let's get that going now. So we've got a little more room. Next is food. Actually, no, it's not. It's got a crew facility. We need a toilet so people can do their business. I'm still going to put everything by here because it's got the power. And that's what I care about right now. We also need a kitchen. I'll put that right there. This is not going to be pretty. So you need the kitchen to turn raw food into processed food. Makes sense, right? You're doing the cooking. We will get to grow beds and stuff in a bit for producing food. But that is in a little bit. Everybody's on break. So if we look at the schedules, it's a good time to talk about that. Right now, by default, they have 2 hours of free time before bed. The coffee indicates free time, which I'm going to drink my coffee. All the blue is work time, and red is sleep. So you can set these as much as you want, and you can copy the settings created. Eventually, I do 2 shifts, maybe 3, depending on how many people I have. A little bit of overlap between them. That way somebody's always working. You don't just have 6 hours. I get 6 hours of sleep. Maybe 5. Okay, it tells you the duration if you hover over it. Technically it's 6. Slave master here. He's cracking the whip. So they're focusing on this first. These should go quicker. Hopefully they actually build this out because they've started to. We will need a hull stabilizer. That'll get our hull stable. Duh. You need that to strengthen this. Basically, it'll give you hull points and you can move your ship. You can't move until then. Usually if your ship gets blown up, because there is combat in this, you will quickly have to rebuild that hull stabilizer and patch any holes in the hull. It is recoverable. I have done it. It's not that hard. If it's your only ship, that's going to be tough. Because you're going to be fighting the clock on life support. Let's take a look at the galaxy real quick. So this is good. There's some more stuff here, right? You've got a non-claimable derelict. You've got Energium and Hyperium. Energium you refine into energy rods, which are used by your power generators. And they're used to create some other stuff too. Hyperium, yeah, it's Hyperium. That's to create hyperfuel, which is used by your engines to move you. That's general rule of thumb there. The general workflow. What else can we go over real quick? When it comes to building ships, if you want more, you do it here. Click that little plus on your fleet. And it tells you what your ship will have. It'll have 4 system points. And yeah, it's basically how many points you have for the fleet. So you can have 1 tile. You can have 2 tiles laterally. You can have 2 vertically, you got 3 laterally, 3 vertically, or you can have what we have now, which is a square. So it's more for making directional ships, but it also affects how many points you have for your systems. And when you have that, you just drag it out here, drop it, and then you start building from scratch. That's basically it. Now, system points. Let's talk about that while everybody's sleeping. If we come over here to ship, system... No, it's weapon. It's a little bit of both, actually. So these take system points. This is to cap how many turrets you could put. You can't just like make it all turrets and have like 30 turrets on here and just blast everything out of the sky. Now you need a lot of power to do that, so that might be a self-limiting factor, but this is what the game has right now. So it's 2 points for a system scanner, shield generators 2 points, energy turrets 2 points, and hull stabilizers are 2 points. So basically you need to divvy that up. On this guy you have 16, so you can divvy that up however you want. You need at least one hull stabilizer, so you have 14 to work with on this ship at a minimum. So you could theoretically do, what, 7 turrets if you really wanted to? Or you could do 1 turret. You get the idea. I'm not going to belabor the point. So we're going to put another airlock here. I don't know that this is going to be symmetrical, which is going to bug me, but not too much because I'm not OCD. Maybe just a little bit. All right, that's built out. Good. Keep that going. This is all going to be hangar bay area. We'll see what we want to do here. So this is going quicker, and then they'll focus on building stuff. Catch you guys on the other side when they finish this. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, while we're waiting, because these guys aren't doing jack, let's get you a pistol, and then we're going to send you guys out to take care of that derelict. So, drag and select your guys, or you can come up here, left click, and then hold shift and click. Then we'll draft them, right click them, tell them to get in spacesuits. You see now they have their firearms ready. Let these guys do their thing, work on stuff. Let's get in the ship. Select the shuttle. Hit dock, and you'll see where we can dock. We can dock here, here, or on this derelict. So let's do that. If there isn't a derelict, you can just pick one of these empty tiles and it'll create its own little landing platform. Sometimes these are blown off, so keep that in mind. 2 is probably the minimum I would send on an away team. Just a little word of advice there. All right, exit the shuttle. Undraft the shuttle so it can go do whatever it needs to do, which isn't much right now. Select your 2 guys, right click to move. And you got to explore the entire ship. And maybe things on here, like that guy. Open the door and open fire. Oh, shotguns are probably your best weapon against these guys early on. Let's come up here. Be a little sneaky, sneaky. So you can EVA with these suits. So there's the, I think that's the comms table. Comms station. There's some supplies here. All right, this is the atmospherics room. It's got a lot of supplies in it. Let's just keep moving. The shuttle's doing a little dance out here. So if you guys are running low, let's look at this real quick. So red is your health. This yellowish orange is your stamina, essentially. And the blue is your oxygen levels. So the airlock gets refilled by your shuttle with O2. So if there's no shuttle here, your guys will go back here and refill. But only when they're undrafted. Oh, is there no way in there? Well, I can fix that. So, if there's no way to get in somewhere, guess what? Make your own way. If it'll let me. I don't think it will. You can blow open walls pretty easily if you can see them. So, see this wall? I don't like it. I'm going to make a hole. Come on. Takes a few shots. Shotgun's really good for this, but I've only got 1 right now. Maybe they made the walls stronger, but normally you can just blow holes in the walls. Step back a little bit. There we go. Found the mother lode. This might be dicey. Come on, shotgun. You're my moneymaker right now. Oh, he almost went down. Glad he didn't. So I'm glad I didn't just pop in here. That would have been a problem. We got one more room to clear, and that's the engine room. All right, the ACS Monstar. All right, as soon as you're done here, what you want to do is undraft your guys, then zoom out to this view, left click on that. You can see we've got some little pips now. This has changed. Hit transfer. You want to select all, so these are all the goodies. Some more energy rods, some hyperfuel. You got some blocks. You've got some fruits. You got some space food. You got human meat. So you can eat that, but I don't recommend it. You got the bug corpses, the old monster corpse. You can carve those up and eat monster steaks. They're not great because they affect your mood. Sure, eventually it'll have, you know, weird things like maybe you get the aliens truck stop problem where it bursts out of your chest. I don't know. I don't know what the plans are. But select all. You can pick which ship it goes to. We only have one right now, the HSS Callisto. And you can set one, or I tell it to do all. Now they're going to move 22 things in the ship. So that's all these little crates here. And we'll do that. Next, we got salvage. Now early on, I want to get everything because I need to build up my supplies. Later on, I will only focus on tech scrap and energy scrap. You build up such a backlog of soft infra scrap, and eventually you don't really need that much hull. Just look at what you're building up. These you're going to go through all the time because they produce stuff that you need, like energy rods, and we'll go through that in a bit. But for now, I'm going to get everything. So left click this. You can tell it to expedite so people focus on this. I don't know how that really affects the orders, but there we go. Let's continue. Now we've got people doing things over here while we're building the ship. Maybe I'll tell them to not do the hull first. Let's turn that off. That way they can focus on this and mining. So they drop them back off here. They're moving the freight back and forth. I want to get this going so I can get my engines up and running. Now the question is, where do I want my bridge? Usually in the front. Usually I do a big bridge up in the front and go from there. So as you saw, there were aliens on here. Eventually we'll explore and get into the depths of other things. Kind of treating this like since this is my first series, my first season, if you will, for this alpha, I want to make it more approachable to new players, which is why I'm explaining everything. If you're one of my regular viewers, you already know all this stuff. Or maybe you'll learn something, because sometimes I just do things. So this is all scaffolding. If this wall gets broken or you dismantle it, it will create a hull breach, which will depressurize this entire ship. And there goes all your oxygen. Temperature will drop. And it takes a while to recover from, so just factor that in. Usually, you can vent this open if you want to and do the same thing under a more controlled environment. So that's if you have a really bad fire and you cannot recover from it. That's a good way to do so. So if we look over here, we can see nobody's working. Somebody's coming over now. Let's see what happens here. So Rawson and Caitlin are coming over here to do a little bit of scrapping. Might be moving freight first. So yeah, they're going to move freight from here to here. Way I blew that wall out. If you have like a weird layout on this derelict and it takes your guys going all the way around here to go get stuff, just shoot the wall open. It's a little pro tip for you. It'll save you time. I could shoot this wall out to shorten the gap. We'll see him dismantle something here shortly. So as soon as the shuttle is full, you can see its inventory, chock full of stuff, even the human foot. But they'll keep the shuttle go back, and the people on here will continue to move stuff to the airlock and load it up. Nowhere to rest. What are you talking about? It's because I don't have a chair and a table. We will eventually, just not yet. So this will be the bulk of the hull. I'm going to go ahead and start building out the hull here too. So if I go... So I'll make this a bigger hole, I guess. I want to put a little bit of separation between the two. We'll go 4 in. That'll do... Nope, one more. There we go. I think that's right. The perspective makes this look weird every time. So we'll do one more, I think. And then what we'll do is bump this out. We're going to have more on this ship. It'll just go off to the sides. I don't really want to just fill this entire thing up with the ship because it just gets... I don't know. It gets too big. Things get weird. All right. We got that. And this is going to kind of separate the bridge from everything else. So we'll build off like a little T shape. In a bit. I'll probably move a lot of my, maybe my atmospherics, or we'll put turrets here. Turrets and things right here in the center line. Let's see if anybody's gonna dismantle things on this derelict for scrapping. Here we go. Let's see, he's tearing things down. And that all depends. What they target depends on what you tell them to salvage. They added this, where now you can see if somebody's in a spacesuit or not. So you know where people are generally. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get production going. Resource. Let's get a recycler. I'm just going to plunk it down here for now. It should have power. Should be close enough. Oh no, it won't. Let's go ahead and move that back a little bit. For now. We'll move it later. That way it's within the footprint and it should get power. These guys are energy hogs. Let's see, we're just waiting for people to sleep. This is going swimmingly. I'm going to go ahead and get the hull scrap going. That scrapping hulls is done by the pods. So they'll go out with the pods, go scrap that stuff, bring it back, drop it off. Everybody's waking up now. My goal is to get this to a minimal viable solution and start moving so we can go get more stuff and build as we go instead of sitting in the starting system forever. But we're going to strip this down real quick and hopefully get that done. Get this going. Then people back here can do industry. It'll be great. Because then they can convert. Let's look at this real quick. And not that. Let's look at this real quick. We can see here we're starting to get our scrap. So there's hull scrap. And we're just going to wait for more. And I'll talk about that in a minute. First, let's find out who does not have a pistol. Caitlin, who is out mining. Good, that's the last little bit of mining. That's all done. Now they can focus on scrapping and building. You can see if you click on your ship and you go to build hull, you can see how many hull blocks it's going to take. So we're going to be buttoning right up to it. But that'll be good for now. We'll sketch this out later. I'll get my navigation going here shortly. For now, I don't really care about the aesthetics of the ship. We'll get to that in a bit. We'll put this here to get some power going. We'll build ship, system, hull stabilizer, and I'm going to put that right here. That'll work. I'll probably put 2 hull stabilizers on the ship. Make it a little stronger. I like that too because it basically doubles your hit points for the ship. 2 of those, one shield generator, and then what do you add? You got 2, 4, 6. If you want a scanner, that's 8. So that's half of your points, which basically means you can have 4 turrets at that. After that, while having 1 shield generator, 2 hull stabilizers, and more. How does that not have power? Son of a bitch. All right, let's do power real quick. I'll just get another in-floor power node because I don't need that much. And we come over here, hit recycle. And we're just going to do continuous on all this for now. Eventually you want to focus this a little more, but if they don't have it, they'll cycle to the next one. If they don't have that, they'll go to the next one. If they do have it, they'll start it. And then when they finish that one, they'll move to the next one. They'll just keep cycling through. Basically, they deliver scrap to it, and then they start working on it as soon as they have power. Waiting on this to get finished, really. That's the big thing. Once that's done, I can put an engine down. We'll have enough power. I can move this engine or this power generator back, create more space. Yeah, and then we'll build a navigation console, and then we'll jump to the next sector. Keep the ball rolling. And then we'll build the ship as we're flying, because that's what you do in this one. I do like the other build, the other start, rather, with the space station, because I can customize the ship from the start. I usually start off with a lot to do in the starting sector. But this will kind of be like an introduction for a lot of people, and we'll see if we're going to play the... well, we'll play this for a while. And in the background, I'll perfect my Polaris Corvette. Big capital ship. I'll perfect that design and then have that built, and then I'll do a little intro on it, kind of like I did with the Caterpillar, and then we'll take that one out. We got hull stability. Great. Let's link this for now to this. And we'll link this guy to this guy. Now it's got power and people can do things. That'd be good. This will get us more hull blocks for the most part. We'll start running through this. Oh, now that we have one about each, that is hull scrap. That is infra scrap. Then you got tech, energy, and soft. So each of these tend to give you a little bit of everything. So hull is obviously from these external blocks, the hull of the ship. You scrap that with the pods. A lot of things. Let's click on this real quick. It doesn't really tell you, but just from experience alone, soft scrap will likely give you infra scrap too. Any of these tech or energy items will probably also give you tech or infra scrap. So you're going to end up with a ridiculous amount of infra scrap. So that's why I tend to start off with getting everything, but then eventually I stop getting infra scrap. I'll stop getting soft scrap because it stops being a blocker at a certain point. Until I need it to build a new ship or expand my current one, I don't bother with it. Because you're running against a clock, and that clock is energy rods, hyperfuel, and water. Water is your biggest problem. You're going to burn through that stuff fairly quickly. So you're running against the clock. You could sit here and you can get everything in a system, but you know what? There is no real end goal. Let me be frank with that. End goal really right now, end game is get to the end of the system, explore everything, and survive. That's it. And then done. You're really making your own story here. So, if you want to get there, you gotta manage your water. Which means realizing when you've already hit the maximum capacity for stuff in your system, and then going, okay, well, I've got enough. But now you can't see what each system has. That's factoring in some really interesting gameplay mechanics now. Let's go ahead and get a nice little power node here, because this will cover, yeah, that'll cover everything, and we can work with it later. Let's put it right in the middle. I'll probably put a wall here, isolate this. I may expand this out. Maybe not. We'll see. You can always take back hull. Just be wary of doing it because it may create a hull breach. I'll have to figure out how to do that safely for you guys. All right. I'm going to, again, this is not a pretty ship. This is mainly just getting this thing functional. That's why I kind of like doing the other start, because you can get a ship fully operational right out the gate. Let's go to ship. Let's go to system. We're going to get a navigation console. I'm just going to plop it right here by this. Remember, this game's all about creativity. As long as you have the systems, Your ship can look like however you want. You can just have one big brick, like I said. Or you can try to make it look like a ship. Make it look cool. Find something with inspiration. Go to Star Citizen, go to Space Engineers, go to Star Trek, whatever. Star Wars. Pick a ship that you find interesting and build it. And figure out how you can make it work. You don't need everything, all this stuff, in each section of the ship, but you do need to spread out thermal regulators, and you'll watch that. Like if you look at this, you can see it's a little cooler over here, and it's a little warmer over here. So, plan that out a little bit. Plan your power generation, or your power distribution, really. I have a whole video on how to do power. I'll link that up above. But yeah, it's all about your creativity. I don't want to tell you how to do everything in the game. This is not going to be an optimal build video. It's not going to be the best way to do it, the most effective ship. I don't really do that. I try to make things interesting. I like it when it's limping along. I like it when it's a little hobbled. It makes for a fun playthrough. And it makes for interesting storytelling. Slowly getting there. Slowly getting there. I could put 2 more pods, but I don't think I have enough people to really do all that stuff. So if you want to eat human meat, you can go to settings. You tell it what to use. Use the artificial meat, the fruits, the root vegetables. Monster meat is okay to use. It provides, well, here's the different types of food or types of nutrients it provides. It's mostly carb, it's carb heavy. It's also carb heavy, protein heavy, and fats, and some vitamins. I haven't really seen that affect people. I don't think it's fully implemented yet, but we're getting there. For now, we're not going to bother with that because we're not anywhere near needing that. This is getting there. Pretty much as soon as I get an engine on here, I'm going to get ready to jump. That is my goal. So, something to talk about. Power. Not power. The ship has a mass. Each engine you put on here adds, I think, 1,600 pounds of thrust. So if I'm already at 1873, which is based on all the stuff in here in storage, and then the people and the equipment, dude's pooping, which actually generates water every once in a while, so it's good to have more toilets, so more people can poo. Let's go ahead and link this real quick. This is not going to be the prettiest setup, but generally the workflow, as I said in my power tutorial video, you have a power generator which eats energy rods. Feed that into a solar panel, which has to be basically affixed to it. Feed that into a power capacity node, which is here. That'll charge up to 1,000, so it'll give you a lot of power availability in an area. And then feed that into power nodes of different sizes, depending on your need. These take a lot intermittently, but they don't always need power, so it's not a big deal if they have a big draw on something. You could put a power capacity node there just to give it a little more juice to work with. Slowly gaining hull stability. We've got the nav. We just need this done. That is our biggest blocker right now. I think this is done. There's nothing else to do here. I would recommend you start with a smaller ship to begin with. I'm doing this because I know the limits of what I can work with right now. But I would recommend starting small and then slowly cobbling together a bigger ship if you're going to play this playthrough, this scenario. If you go with the abandoned mining base, man, you have plenty more wiggle room to start with. There we go. Okay, so let's go to a ship. And let's go to system, and we're going to get a hyperdrive. Now, do I want it right here, or do I want it centered? Problem is, eyeballing it is really hard on here because the isometric view kind of skews things. Let's see. I could do 4, right? Let's do this. 4, 4. I think right there is probably fine. I can always move it later. I really just need 1. It's okay if you're over en masse right at the gate. It's not that big a deal. It'll just cost you more hyperfuel to move. Your ratio will be worse. Let's do power. I really just need to move this. So let's move this guy here. Then I'll probably put solar arrays here along the back. Right, there goes our power. So this is potentially dire situation when these run out of juice. That means we're not going to have any O2 generation. You're going to see that start going down. Temperature is going to start faltering. We need to get these linked up almost immediately. So I will just move this stuff. For now. You'll see on the derelicts, they tend to have an atmospherics room, which works. Let's move the turlet over here. Get all that moving. This should be powered. Just wait on that to get going. Boom. That is up and running. That can link to that and start providing juice. Let's link this up for now. Maybe not. I can't reach it. So we're going to need another power node anyways. We'll just get one of these. Again, there's no consequences for trying things out. You can always tear it down and rebuild it elsewhere. You can move it. You can dismantle it entirely. You could scrap all this stuff and start from scratch in your ship at any time. All right, let's link this to this and this. Now we got juice. I really need people to work on this, so we have a little bit of oxygen. Maybe just kind of jumped the gun there on myself. What can I get rid of? Why is nobody working this? Get out of it, Michelle. This is a high priority item. Why is nobody working this? That's really annoying. Yeah, I know you can't sleep. I need you to do things. No, that's almost over. We'll just let it run for a little bit. Running low on hull blocks. You can go ahead and get up. He slept over there. He had no problems. He was like, I'm going to fall asleep over here in my spacesuit. Perfectly fine. Okay, you're on break time. There we go. As soon as you get that going, we'll get O2. We'll get thermal regulation going. All right, that's good. And we can watch the temperature come up. Well, let's get ready to jump. Click that to prepare. Somebody will go over here to the navigation console. They will prepare to jump. This should start heating up. Shouldn't be that big a deal. All right, we are overweight, but you can see here we have all 4 of our people on. All 4 of 4 are accounted for. 3 of 3 vessels are accounted for, so that's your shuttle and your pods. And that's how far you can jump right now with the fuel you have. So let's jump. All right, so we've cleared this. Let's click on this one because that's what we can see. It's asteroid field 101, whereas this is asteroid 107. go here. Left click it once. Click it again. Hey, we're going to meet another ship. So it looks like there's some noble and base metals here. There's nothing up here, but it connects to here. And we can go here, which has another derelict. So we're going to drop in. You can keep going one sector at a time, but you have to drop in eventually. All right, so we want to orient ourselves right here. So we're kind of centrally located on stuff that matters. Let's deploy. Let's look at what we can do with these guys. So their ship is 2 turrets and a shield generator. The Falcon Hawk Titus, which is part of the faction. Who is this? I think that's Cult of New Haven. No, that's the... I don't know. It's not telling me. Click trade. So this is the stuff they want. So they'll pay me the most for hyperfuel. They'll pay me for human meat. It's fun. Pay me the least for infra scrap, which is smarter than their part. And you can buy water. I don't think I have any credits right now, but I might. So let's click new trade. I have 0 credits, but I can sell them things. So I want water. They will not trade you anything if they have less than 10. Factor that in. So the way I'm going to avoid that, since I want all 16, is I'm only going to buy 6 in the first trade. And I will sell them that. That way I get some credits too. So let's hit accept. Now in the new trade, we're going to do... Actually, I'm just going to let this one go first. Because that way I get money. Because I have to wait for the credits to come back. Alright, this should be heating up slowly. What's it telling me? Yeah, I need more thermal regulators. So, recovering from a pressure loss or a loss of power is a big deal. It is tough. And it takes a lot of time. See, that perspective throws me off every time. It just looks weird. It doesn't look even. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is 4. Okay. Well, we've got to mine these, mine that, and we have to clear, what is this? The Bayside Express. But it is not a claimable derelict, so it's something we just have to deal with. It's Caitlin's problem. She's down for the count. Unconscious. And she'll wake up. She just passed out from lack of sleep. This will slowly catch up. You can recover from this. It just takes time. So I do recommend timing your use of these. You're timing your movement of stuff in the ship and reorganizing things. Just make sure you have coverage. So we'll do some more power stuff. We'll claim this ship. We got another ship coming in, probably from the same group. Interesting, it's not telling me who these guys are. I think that's a cyborg collective or something. If we go to this... No. Go to this. We look at the factions. We can see that is the Android Collective. But oh well. We'll do that next time. Thanks for joining me, folks, and take it easy.